Welcome back to my F125 Drive Career Mode. This is part number 12 today for the Italian Grand Prix Season 1. If you missed the previous episode at Belgium, I recommend going and check them up before seeing this one because, spoiler alert, well, I gambled. We went side by side for Eau Rouge in a race that, I rolled the dice in on more than one occasion potentially there. It didn't pay off with P16. Nonetheless, I'm going to try and bounce back at the Italian Grand Prix and potentially with some upgrades. Now, major rear and front downforce available. However, Albon's looking at minor weight redistribution. We're quite good on Sashi. We do need some more aero upgrades. Minor weight reduction, but of course, the beautiful tyre upgrade. Major tyre upgrade, that is. Not going to get that this episode though because we don't have enough R&D points. So instead we're going to rush a minor engine power upgrade. It's only got a 25% failure chance as well. So yes, and if it fails then it fails. However, we do have some rumours about next season about some changes to the apparently sporting regulations. That's technically supposed to be the technical regulations. Obviously in real life they get announced years in advance, but in the game they get announced with 5 rounds to adapt everything. Anyway, in terms of performance, Red Bull has shot to the top. We have jumped in front of Mercedes, so Mercedes are having a woeful time of it on track. And now it seems that in terms of their development, they're not doing that great either. Upgrades, of course, all round pretty much because it's the first race after the summer break. So we move into qualifying then. Monza is a good track for me, so I'm hoping for a top 10 qualifying position here, but we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully we might be able to sneak a slipstream down one of the main straights. However,
okay, I know you're eager to get out there, but I'm going to need you to be patient for a few minutes. We're just trying to zero in on an oil leak.
So our first lap was only good enough for P14 as well. Albon's only up in P12 by the way, so it's not like we're a million miles apart. It seems that the car, despite having that minor engine power loss, you did go on the car by the way, that's still not enough to give us a top 10 decision. Just also that I've adjusted my heads-up display so it has some transparency. I saw this in Ara's Reddit video. Let me know what you think in the comments below if I want more transparency, less transparency as we go into the middle sector. Then this is where I'm weakest, around this middle part of the track, through the first of the 2 Lesbos corners as well. Obviously the AI do have their attraction, but that's where I'm potentially weakest against every other part of the track for me, personally speaking. That's just really because that's the part of the track that requires the most downforce. 3.5 tenths up on previous best time, 6 tenths up on Russell's time through Ascari. The AI love to have OP traction out of the Ascari down to Parabolica. Lost a little bit of time there through Ascari there, but I'm getting it back on the exit of Ascari. Now down to Parabolica. Where is that Slauber going? Come on, give me the slipstream. He goes in the pits. We're going to go to the line. A little bit of time lost. It's 3.5 tenths gain, which is good enough for P14. Verstappen's down here as well, so take comfort from that. But that's not great. We're 2 tenths off Albon, so yeah, there's definitely a little bit with the car. I'm expecting this to be about where Ocon, Hulkenberg are, but yeah, well, there's more to come, definitely from the car, certainly in the race. Hopefully it's a better result than P14. Let's see what we can do. It's time for the Italian Grand Prix.
The third permanent circuit built anywhere on Earth. Monza has always been special. Now it's been providing motor racing memories for a century. Welcome to the Italian Grand Prix. The Rettifilo, Ascari, Curve Grande, the Parabolica. Names to get you excited. This is Monza, where we are full throttle for 80% of the lap. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Antonelli, Piastri, Esteban Ocon, and Norris. Hulkenberg, Alonso, Gasly, and Alex Albon. Tsunoda, Lawson, Max Verstappen, Phoenix, Bortoletto, Russell, Jack Doohan, and Lance Stroll. Behrman and Isaac Hadjar rounds off the grid. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. Welcome to the commentary box. I'm Alex Jakes. Alongside me is Anthony Davidson. Now, those final hours before a race, did you have a routine?
Well, for them, you've got your pre-race rituals that you go through.
Shut up! Right, this is a high-speed circuit, and therefore we need low downforce, which of course means that DRS is not going to be quite as powerful. But hopefully we're going to be so quick we're not even going to notice it.
Pretty sure he should be telling me that before we go into part Fermi. But anyway, race strategy. It's a bit interesting what I'm going to do here. Yeah, I don't like the look of a two-stop, to be honest. So race strategy is going to be a one-stop from hard to mediums. We can always go on to the softs if the hards decide to wear, but last rather. But I doubt that's going to happen. So mediums it will have to be then, as 5 red lights then for the Italian Grand Prix here at Monza, and a bit of holding away we go. It's a better start than both Verstappen and Lawson. Shockers for those two there. Up to P12 on the hards. That's a good start when they get. Can we get Tsunoda? He moves across. There's space just about up the inside of Gasly, but unfortunately we're not able to get him. Now Gasly's going to get Albon as well as we try now. Can we get Albon too? Round the outside of Curve Grande. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. And that's up to down the inside of Gasly as well. 2 for the price of 1, and up to P9. Here's a replay then. Just having the better exit out of turn 2 really. They're down to around the Curve Grande, and that's a bit of a poor angle. But I'm down the inside of Gasly there as well. This should be a better camera angle. On board with Alex Albon, and just get the better traction out of turn 2 there. And obviously at that point overtake's done and just send it on Gasly. Lovely stuff. Up to P9. Hopefully Albon will get in front of Gasly too. Meanwhile up at the front, Lewis Hamilton is your race leader. He has jumped Charles Leclerc, got pole. There's a bit of a gap now formed behind Antonelli, as well as watching Albon getting past Pierre Gasly. This is what we bought the upgrades for. And now we're both inside the top 10. Jump to lap 2 then, and Hulkenberg is having a go at Alonso. But Hulkenberg's been squeezed out of Alonso at just about enough space to go round the outside of Nick Hulkenberg at Ascari. Lovely little bit of an unorthodox manoeuvre there, but Hulkenberg, there was a chance there round the outside as Hulkenberg, just being forced out by Alonso having the slower exit. But look at that. OP traction out of the sky down to Parabolica, and nothing I can do about that. Let's hope we can get him back here though. He's not had the greatest exit out of Parabolica, and I should be able to use the DRS, the better car performance, to get in front of Hulkenberg. Come on, let's decide which way you're going, Nico. Okay, he's going to defend the racing line. I'm going to go down the inside of Hulkenberg and cut across him and move back up in what will be P8. Next up will be Fernando Alonso. Can we get him? Deja vu through the Curve Grande, using a bit of ERS. Don't really want to use all of it, but that's very much purple first sector down the inside. Alonso will come back though, but they try that inside into Ascari and it fails for the AI every time. Meanwhile behind, that is Albon trying to get in front of Hulkenberg, and I'd love him to do so. He's got 2 Red Bulls behind, so he needs to get a move on. Albon does get that manoeuvre done. Seems they fixed that cursed curb there. Antonelli goes defensive, and that's just why you do not defend the inside of that corner. And Alonso's going to get him as well. Although saying that, Antonelli's going to put up a fight here. His rating's not quite there in terms of where he needs to be on the track. Up at the front then, will the Tifosi have spoilt hearts as Leclerc has the lead back again from Hamilton, but now Piastri takes the lead from Charles Leclerc, and what I'm trying to catch is these two, Ocon and Norris. They've been swapping positions as well, which is not helping my cause. Antonelli has been stuck behind. He's now down the inside of Parabolica. I'm going to chop him off at Parabolica. I'm going to, use all the battery I've got. But look at this. He's just able to blast past. But then under braking, he brakes too early as well for the first corner. Gave him space on the inside of turn 2, but that's going to cost me time to Ocon and Norris. Here he comes again. Unfortunately, failed that target just because he popped up the inside, but then had to back out. Stupid decision there. And he's going to go round the outside into Parabolica here. And this point, I've saved some ERS. Look, we've got good enough ERS, but look at the traction me out of Parabolica. But I'm going to switch it to the left-hand side. DRS detection point is slightly different compared to last year. It's on the exit rather than the entry to Parabolica here, as well as watching Max Verstappen struggling down in P12, I think that is. So not great for the reigning champions. Behind his teammate as well, and Nico Hülkenberg in the Slauber car, so he needs to get a move on, as does George Russell, who's also struggling down there. Here is Esteban Ocon, and as everyone starts to make their pit stops, Ocon is going to get in front of Hamilton, they're side by side through to the first sector, and yes, Ocon is up into what will be a defective third place potentially once everyone makes their stops, as myself and Antonelli are swapping places left, right and centre again as well. I gave him room on the outside there, but Antonelli's going to go a lot longer because Russell is coming into the pits. I'm not entirely sure that's the best for Kimi. Will have better tyres at the end, but at a cost of doing a lap longer on old worn out hard tyres. Mediums on for me, mediums on for Piastri, 2.4 seconds stop, that's very good as well. Ocon confirmation there, he's in front of Hamilton, so this is there. And there's Verstappen. It was a good jump to Alonso, myself and Albon, and I'm pretty sure Gasly too, as we're going to cut off Albon into turn 1 and keep the position. As we're watching Gasly, is he going to have a go at Albon? Albon unfortunately moves to the left hand side, and Gasly will swoop around the outside and take that position. We've seen it 1,000 times before. Antonelli will come out behind me but in front of Gasly then as he makes his stops. So yes, it's still all to play for those positions there. Up at the front, Leclerc then has a dominant lead there over second place Oscar Piastri, and Ocon's done fair, he's in front of Norris as well. So Hamilton has lost out throughout the pit stop, and that is George Russell in his miserable afternoon in the Mercedes has come to a premature end, really. I mean, he was outside the points, not doing great, and now he's going to be nothing for him in his Mercedes. Antonelli, the sole Mercedes remaining. Obviously, you need to get a move on. First up for me will be Fernando Alonso, DRS. Down the main straight, we set our personal best, 22.8 as well. And they're scrapping up ahead between Hamilton and Ocon. This is the final podium place. Norris is there as well. Obviously, Lando would love to be on the podium, obviously, because if he's the potential challenge, the only challenger really to Verstappen as well. But will Norris now have a go round the outside to down towards Parabolica, and Ocon just has no answer to that McLaren speed. And then as we're watching Verstappen is now caught, I'm catching them as well. Lando gets the move done on Hamilton. He's up to P3, Hamilton P4 as well, as I've joined this battle too. So it's a five car train for the podium here in Monza. Can I get what will be the second podium of the season? We'll have to wait and see. But first up, Ocon. Ocon's been forced out, and just like we did to Hülkenberg earlier, it's a swoop round the outside through Ascari up to P6. This is a good time of it as well. It's poor for Ocon. Obviously, he'll be disappointed. He was on for a second podium in the matter of races here, but now he's lost out. And now I'm going to go round the outside of Verstappen at turn 1 with DRS. Verstappen lost DRS by making that move on Ocon as well, and the train has been broken as well. I've not got DRS to Piastri and Hamilton. It's not Norris, it's Piastri, excuse me, and Hamilton, who are battling up ahead as well. Down the inside of Verstappen, I think they're 3 wide. Ocon's on the outside, still going for this. There's contact. We'll have to get a replay on who was in the wrong there, or the right, or if there was just a racing incident potentially. Yeah, a little bit of a racing incident. Didn't really have anywhere to go. It's just that 3 wide. Yeah, hand of frustration from Verstappen there, and I just say, to be honest, when I could have yielded there, but I didn't want to, as Ocon's front wing looks a bit scuffed there. I'm going to defend again from Max Verstappen. You know, this Red Bull, to be fair to Verstappen, he's done a tremendous job getting this Red Bull car into the top 10, but it's not so much the Williams around here, I don't think. We have better straight line speed for sure, although Verstappen does close in. It's not quite, he doesn't have quite enough to get down to Parabolica. Charles Leclerc keeps the Tifosi happy by winning in Italy, and I'll come across for P5, which is I'm very happy with that. That's huge points on the board here in Monza, and surely, well, that should be P8 bagged with beating Ocon, but we'll have to wait and see come the end of the season then as well. 4 points scored over Ocon, but we'll see there. Lando Norris it was, not Piastri there. So Piastri and Norris swapped around actually in the end. So checkerboard of Ferrari and McLaren's, then myself, Verstappen, Ocon, Antonelli. Alex did get P9, but I think he could have done a little bit better and got in front of Antonelli with a little bit more pace there as well. And closing in on George Russell, you know, he's only 9 points in front of me in the standings. So we'll see if we get a championship rivalry. 18 points back to Ocon, and unless he gets another podium, I think I've got enough in the remaining races. Constructors wise, McLaren are the ones who take the lead from Red Bull, 6 points over them, so that won't be happy for them. We have a 6 point gap over Mercedes now, so about growing that gap and securing this P4 in the standings. For some reason though, the game's giving me Tsunoda, not Russell, as a championship rivalry. No idea why. We won't actually win that. Yeah, racecraft again. These stats are all bugged, as I continue to say. We're up to 72 rate. You started at 60 something. So yeah, some of these should not be this high, really, in my opinion. But and maybe, you know, you should have a difficulty on the stats, but that's something that they've not implemented into the game. Recognition is still at 51.49, so I'll try and push for those third upgrade. The next episode then is Mexico. That episode will be is already recorded, so that episode I'll try and get that out later this week. Should be Friday, but probably be Saturday. Just bearing in mind that, you know, I have been on holiday, by the way. That's why there's been a slight lack of videos. This video was supposed to come last Friday. I was supposed to get home from holiday, go on the F1 game, you know, smash out this episode and have it done for Friday. That didn't happen because of the late getting back. So yes. Also, season 2 working in the background. On hold is the classic liveries for fancy liveries. Want the retro one. Once the season 2 is out, I'll continue working on those liveries. I've done half of them already, so yes, I just need to do the other half. But that's where I'm going to leave it today's video. Hope you have enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and you see plenty more F125 driver recruitment videos as I make them out. Until the next video then, I'll see you next time. Take care, enjoy your day, and goodbye.